Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome everyone to our latest explainer. Today we're unpacking a thought experiment that is just, well, it's absolutely mind-bending and honestly kind of terrifying. We are looking at 5 seconds of weightless chaos. It's a scenario that completely throws out the very laws of physics we literally take for granted every single day.
So what if gravity just disappeared? Just for 5 seconds. At first it sounds like this fun sci-fi concept, right? Like, oh, cool, a quick chance to float around the living room. But actually, the reality is far more intense than that. Without that constant 9.8 meters per second squared of downward acceleration pinning us down, the chain reaction is completely different. We're putting you right in the center of this what-if scenario to see exactly why those 5 short seconds would absolutely be the most devastating moments in the history of our planet.
Section 1. The peaceful calm.
Before we can really grasp the total devastation of losing gravity, we got to ground ourselves in the present, literally. Just take a look around. Right now, your world is in perfect balance. People walking, cars moving, birds flying up above. It's a completely normal, peaceful scene. But gravity is the invisible glue holding this whole shebang together. Every footstep you take on the pavement, every tire gripping the road, it all relies 100% on that constant downward pull. It's the baseline force keeping the atmosphere wrapped around the globe and, keeping us safely tethered to the ground.
Section 2. Chaos begins.
Now, I want you to imagine just snapping your fingers and boom, that universal switch gets flipped completely off. Instantly. The fundamental rules of physics just vanish. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly how it breaks down. Step 1. Unattached objects lift. Because remember, the Earth is spinning at like 1,000 miles an hour at the equator, so without gravity pulling things inward, centrifugal force takes the wheel. Things maintain their velocity and just fling outward. Step 2. Cars lose traction. The literal second that downward force is gone, tires lift off the asphalt. Steering, braking, completely impossible. And step 3. People drift upward. With zero friction to anchor you, just taking a single step mid-stride, or even just the kinetic energy from the Earth spinning, launches you helplessly into the air. People, cars, animals, loose objects, literally anything that isn't bolted to the bedrock immediately becomes an unguided projectile. Just picture the sheer volume of stuff we're talking about here. Suddenly, the airspace above our peaceful city isn't just for the birds anymore. It turns into this terrifying localized soup of weightless matter. And because there's no air pressure pulling things down, even the dirt and dust from the ground rises right up alongside the heavier stuff, blinding you in this overwhelming cloud of chaos happening all at once.
Section 3. From oceans to orbit.
But hey, this breakdown isn't just happening on your local street corner. We really have to zoom out and look at the macro chaos, because the contrast in scale here is just staggering. On the local level, sure, we've got cars and people floating around cities. But globally, the effects are catastrophic. Think about airplanes in mid-flight. Without gravity, the air itself begins to expand and drift off into space. Atmospheric density drops, so aerodynamic lift, that becomes impossible. Satellites in low Earth orbit that rely on gravity to curve their path, they suddenly just shoot off in straight lines right into deep space. And honestly, maybe the most terrifying part? The oceans. They're no longer pinned to the seafloor. These massive, sprawling bodies of water instantly start to bulge, expanding outwards and rising straight up into the atmosphere as the planet just keeps on spinning.
Section 4. The heavy return.
All right, so we're reaching the climax of this thought experiment now, because as visually crazy as weightlessness might seem, the real dread is the inevitable end of that tiny 5-second window. Think of this like a high-suspense countdown clock. 1 second in, drifting. It is wildly disorienting as everyone and everything gets pushed outward by the planet's spin. 3 seconds in, complete confusion on a global scale. We're talking millions of tons of unattached matter, airborne vehicles, and bulging ocean water just hovering in the sky. And then, 5 seconds. Gravity returns. The fundamental rule of physics snaps right back on, with absolutely zero warning.
Everything falls at once. Every single object, every person, every vehicle, and those massive, unimaginable amounts of displaced ocean water, they violently regain their full weight. Suspended way up out of place in the sky, they immediately begin to accelerate back toward the center of the Earth at 9.8 meters per second squared, plummeting straight back down.
The immediate aftermath of this, it's completely catastrophic. Over those 5 seconds, the outward drift and the planet's rotation have shifted things way out of alignment. Buildings are heavily damaged as countless heavy objects and materials just crash right back through their roofs.
And think about the kinetic energy of millions of cars that were drifting upward, now violently slamming back down onto highways and into each other. It's unimaginable. Accidents happen everywhere on an unprecedented scale. Entire cities are instantly thrown into chaos. This isn't some gentle Hollywood touchdown, it's a synchronized global impact of massive destruction.
Section 5. A world changed forever.
It is just staggering to comprehend. As the source material so perfectly puts it, just 5 seconds without gravity could change the world forever. Such a tiny, tiny anomaly in the fabric of the universe, literally just the time it takes you to take a deep breath, results in a level of destruction that brings human civilization to a grinding halt. We're not talking about a momentary disruption or a cool magic trick here. The cascading accidents, the massive structural damage from the kinetic impacts, and the sheer scale of the displaced oceans crashing back down, it would leave permanent, irreversible scars on our entire planet.
So, I want to leave you with this final provocative question. What do you think would happen? Where would you be? And how would your immediate surroundings react during those specific 5 seconds of weightless drift and the heavy crash that follows? I really hope this explainer gave you a thrilling look into an incredibly intense thought experiment. If you loved exploring the absolute boundaries of science with me today, make sure to follow Future Tech Insider for more amazing future tech stories. Keep wondering, keep learning, and I'll catch you on the next one.